High Point Market. Thank you guys so much for joining again. We'll give everybody just a minute or two to get ready. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes with us. We appreciate you stopping in to take a moment to watch our webinar. And as I mentioned, we'll get started in just a minute or two once we get going. Thank you again, everybody. All right, we're going to kick it off just with a little overview. So, on today's agenda, we're going to kind of cover a few topics just to review about Event Crowd and our offerings. So, we're going to touch on each of the lead retrieval offerings that we have, along with rep assignment and what that entails. We're also going to discuss a little bit about the Leads Hub itself, which is your portal for everything lead retrieval and your tools as well. We will touch on some system updates that have taken place since the spring market. So we'll cover a few updates that we have, and then we'll finish off today with some Q&A. We do have a Q&A box. If you wanted to, as questions pop up, please feel free to go ahead and drop them in there. We will try to get through as many as we can. You may be dropping a question that is along the similar note, so we'll try to cover as many questions as we can at the end. Again, thank you everybody for stopping in and joining us. Let's get started. So Event Crowd, our team has been in the event technology and customer service industry for quite a number of years in total. We bring a lot of event technology knowledge to you, along with customer service as our forefront. So our goal is really to help continually improve our systems and our tools. Each market, we hope to kind of bring some new exciting things as we grow with you, and we always welcome your feedback so that we can learn what your needs are. And especially with this unique event, it drives some interesting offerings to the table. So we appreciate that. And we do have a really robust team as well. I just wanted to share our development team. We have about 10 on our development team in total, between developers, designer, and our Q&A team as well. So we have kind of a really well-rounded, knowledgeable team working to make the system everything that it can be for you. We also recently expanded our customer service team to better serve your needs this market and just be able to get you the answers that you need and get you working and on point for helping your customers in turn. So our first topic that we're going to discuss refers to our QuickLeads app. This is our mobile lead retrieval app that will work on an Android or an Apple device, and that can be either a phone or a tablet. It does work on both types of devices, and the goal with this is a really simple way to capture buyer data just with your already existing device. So it's an easy tool to just add to it. Again, it could be phones or tablets. It lets you scan the QR code on the badge of the buyer and capture their data. It lets you grab their, first name, last name, demographics, it provides you with a little bit more information about their company and, of course, their email address. So everything that they've kind of worked through registration and provided, that is what's going to feed through and give you that information on your scan. Uh, those scans will actually sync back to the Leads Hub in real time as long as the device is online. So if you're using cell signal or Wi-Fi, that syncing happens seamlessly. Now, that being said, we know that sometimes there's areas within the High Point city that might have some challenges with either cell signal, or sometimes Wi-Fi isn't always reliable. The nice thing about this tool is that it does work in offline mode first. So should your cell signal drop at some point, or should internet drop for a moment or two, your phone will still be able to capture the data with the scan. And as soon as you get back online, the rest of the information is going to sync up. So you'll see the data that it will pull over is from the QR codes. So their first name and last name, the badge ID, and then the rest of the data will sync up again as soon as that service comes back. So we wanted to make sure that you weren't ever slowed down by any kind of dip in service, if there was any challenges with the internet. So that is a nice little piece of our tool. So offline mode first. The other thing that we have been working on with our QuickLeads app is really to enhance the response time within the app. We took a lot of overview and feedback from Spring Market to make sure that we were kind of working at a fast pace kind of flow. You know, we understand your showrooms are busy. We don't want you to be having to look at the app and make sure everything's loading. So we really worked at making sure that the data was coming through quicker, that there was better response time happening. So we had our team kind of take a review of the system and make sure that its response was a little bit quicker in that sense. The one thing that I do want to kind of point out is that when you're using the QuickLeads app, it will be using the back-facing camera on the device. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. If you do have an older device, you might want to take a look at some of the specs. We do provide you some of the information that we recommend in terms of making sure that that camera has autofocus, number one, that your device itself has a sufficient memory in it so that you are also experiencing quick response, especially if you're, you know, having those busy show days. We don't want you to have any challenges. So just take a little look at your device that you're planning on using, and just to make sure that your specs of your equipment are ready to handle the load, especially if your showroom is on the busier side. You want to take a little look at that. We do offer this app the ability to capture guests here. So if you have a group that comes in, you're able to go ahead and capture the number of guests that are included on a visit as well. And then we also made sure that should you need to um, work through, if you have to move your activation or change your activation off of this app, you can actually do so, and it will resync all that data as soon as you reload. So we've kind of taken some of that feedback and added a few new features. So we hope you enjoy that for sure. A few little notes with the Quick Leads app is we have some built-in tools that can come in handy for your team. One of those features is adding notes. This can be really great if you're in the middle of a discussion with your customer. You can add a little note about what you discussed, and that will sync with their lead for you to pull in the reports later on. So it can act as a nice little reminder about what you've worked on with them in the showroom. There also is a feature called qualifiers. These are a tool that can be really handy to act as like a tag. It can identify things like a hot lead, or send them, you know, uh, pricing or some other type of quick little reminder. It uh, acts as a nice way to highlight those key customers because it creates its own list. When you use those tags, it's going to pull those key people into their own little list that you can pull when market is over. So that's tends to be really helpful. The other thing that is available is unlimited surveys. This is something that you can think of as a way for you to gather your own demographics. So if you wanted to find out what do they know about your line, or, you know, how did they hear about you, or it can be any other type of multiple choice or single answer question, you can build these out to gather your own specific demographics that might help for your sales team to follow up after the event. So these are really great tools that we offer in an unlimited format for you and your team to prepare for the event. You can always let us know if you have further questions on it. We are happy to guide you. Now, moving on from our QuickLeads app, we're going to touch on QuickLeads Web. With QuickLeads Web, this is a tool that you will use on a desktop or a laptop computer, as opposed to using a handheld device. This utilizes a barcode scanner, so we have a couple recommendations about that, but it's a USB barcode scanner that will attach to the device and scan using a browser. So it can be really helpful, especially for those showrooms where you have a central location, like a reception area where you're greeting your customers. This is a great way to kind of utilize that space, take the scanning in one central area. The other nice feature along with that ability is the fact that everything's at one glance. You'll notice in the little screenshot that we have your surveys, your qualifiers, and your notes. Everything is on the same page, so it's really easy for your reception team to kind of click around and apply whatever notes or surveys that you might want to use. We also offer with this as well a continuous scan mode. So if you did have, a busier showroom and you have this page set up at QuickLeads Web, if they come up and scan, you're able to just keep capturing those scans as they come up. So it's kind of helpful, especially if you've got events taking place, for you to uh, go through and kind of move at a faster pace. The one also point that I will add, and I'll touch on a little bit more later, is that QuickLeads Web does provide some extra tools for those that are using rep assignment. You will see a few additional tools at the bottom for those that partake in the rep assignment. You're able to view the assignments in real time and kind of see those matches taking place. So this can be also a really helpful tool to add for those showrooms that use that feature. And our last lead retrieval tool that we're going to touch on is our Quick Leads Rental. This is a handheld device that we offer for those that maybe don't have their own devices, or have a laptop device that they wanted to utilize. It's a really nice rugged handheld Honeywell device that has a built-in optical scanner. The nice thing with this is it comes preloaded with the QuickLeads app. We have it all set up for you and ready to go. So, I know that for some showrooms, if they have a large team and it may be a little bit challenging to have multiple activations on phones or things like that, this could be a really nice alternate because it's something that can be shared with a large team and kind of passed along. The other thing I do want to point out is, in the similar mindset, because it is using the QuickLeads app, you will also have that ability to work in both online and offline mode. So if you have an area that you're going to move to, if the internet drops, you're still going to be able to capture all that data in a really seamless way. And then as soon as you get back online, it's going to sync for you. So and one thing I'll point out is, because of the optical scanner that's built into this device, it can be actually really helpful for showrooms that might have challenges with glare. So if you have sun, kind of shining in your windows and you're noticing it's a little hard to focus using a phone device with the camera, this built-in scanner can actually be a really nice way to work with that challenge and kind of get around that, because the optical scanner will grab that QR code a little bit quicker. The nice thing, as I mentioned, we will have this all set up and ready for you. So it also takes any prep work out of your hands for it. So, and that wraps up the three different options for Quick Leads rental. You will notice if you're looking at pricing, we do offer different packages for these. So if you need multiple devices or multiple activations, we do offer a couple different package price points just to be a little bit more conducive to those larger teams or larger showrooms. So, um, but we will move right along. So, touching on, I'd say one of the heart pieces of uh, lead retrieval for High Point Market is rep assignment. This is an extremely popular tool for teams to notify reps when buyers are entering the showroom. This tool will use, there's two different ways to set it up, but essentially you're defining a territory, and the territory assignments that we have currently are geographical. So you're able to define a territory by country, by state, county, or zip code. And you have two different ways of doing this. You can actually set it up with a territory builder that lets you go in and kind of define step by step, working through the territory name, adding in each county or country or whatever places you want to add, and then you can match your reps to that territory. The other option is an upload tool. There is a template where you can use it in Excel and build out your territory line by line, and then simply upload it and it will create these territories for you. So one way or the other, there's two different options, whatever works best for you. The one nice thing is if you have used rep assignment in the spring market, if you are using it here for fall market again, it will actually pull over your territories for you and your reps so that you can just go in and make edits if you need to, add in new reps or add in new territories, but you don't have to recreate from scratch. It's actually going to bring that over for you. So that is a nice little helpful thing. Um, we will get into a couple more updates too. I want to touch on, we had some really great feedback from last market that we wanted to take time with our team to uh, enhance this tool and get it to a place that works the best that it possibly can for you. So you will notice that we added a few different notifications within this tool. You'll have much more clear alerts in the system to let you know if your reps have added the notification app to their phone, if anybody's pending, if you haven't linked them to a territory. There's a lot more clarity with where you might need to take action. We also added the ability for you to send a test notification to your reps. So as you're going through, you're able to kind of send them a quick little ping so they can know that their app is ready to go, and ready to start receiving those notifications. We also made a lot of visibility in the assignment log so that you can see once someone has been scanned, you can actually see when that notification was sent to the rep, when it was received, and you can actually watch as those notifications go through. You can make sure that they were received by your team. And if you needed to, you can actually manually notify someone else or send out a notification as well. So there's a lot more ability to go ahead and, you know, uh, use those tools to notify the team and view those notifications as well. So that is one of the nice, exciting features that we added for this fall. Um, we'll touch on the other side of rep assignment. So we moved away, and as we mentioned in the last spring markets webinar, we are no longer using what some of our predecessors have used, SMS messaging. We're actually using a dedicated app for the reps to receive push notifications. This is a great way to kind of bypass the challenges that can sometimes be had with SMS being flagged for spam or restrictions on receiving notifications. So we went ahead and updated and created a dedicated app for your reps to receive. So they're actually will get these push notifications. We heard feedback and we created a unique sound for these notifications so that for the reps that want to hear a dedicated noise, they'll actually have a unique sound coming through on their notifications. Um, the nice thing we also added was the fact that reps are now able to see the new leads coming through very clearly with like very, very clear banners. And they're also able to mark them as read or to archive these. We had some feedback where, the reps wanted to have the ability to kind of organize and sort their notifications a little bit better. So we've added some really nice features to give them those tools in their hands where as they've worked through and met with those buyers, they can go ahead and dismiss or mark as read those notifications so they know when new ones come in, they're right there at the top and they can kind of see who they've helped and maybe who is left to work on. If you do have reps that handle multiple territories, they are able to be linked using that same app to multiple territories and also multiple exhibiting companies. So if they are a multi-line rep, they will be able to go in and see this is ABC company, this is XYZ company, and they'll be able to manage their notifications for each company come through on the same app. And then also on your end, we are not limiting you on any number of reps or territories that you add. So in the system, if you have, a rep that comes through to sub or you have somebody added, you never have to go in and add anything more other than just creating that rep and adding them to the correct territory. We don't add any charges for those extra reps. And I'm just looking to see what else, if there was uh, we touched on the archive leads. Oh, and then the one nice thing as well, if the rep is in the app, you actively utilizing the app, and a new buyer comes in, they're going to actually see that notification pop up, even if they're using the app. It's still going to come up and kind of let them know and give them that alert right away. We noticed that was something that was recommended or requested last market. So we did add that feature as well. So there's some really exciting updates for your reps to see in this tool for this upcoming market. All right, let's go ahead. And we'll touch on the Leads Hub now. Um, with our Leads Hub, this is, as I mentioned earlier, this is where you're going to manage all your orders and also manage all your data. So you'll notice when you first place your order, this is the same link that you go in and place your first order. And then when you go back to that link, it transforms into the Leads Hub where you'll come to your dashboard and see all your different menu options. Once you get started with scanning, you're going to see that data come through on the dashboard and start building out your reports and lists automatically. We do have default lists that are created from the system. So as I mentioned before, if you're utilizing a qualifier or a survey, automatically lists are created for that. You can create a custom list if you want, but we did take the time to make sure that you had all your lists created right away, so they're at your fingertips when you need it. Now, you can pull that information whenever you like. Some people will wait till market is completely over. The leads will sync as I mentioned, as long as your device is online, that information is coming back into the system. So you could pull a list each night if you wanted to, or, then that morning and take a look at how you did the day before. So feel free to kind of keep an eye on the Leads Hub as the event is going to watch how your performance is doing with your scanning. We also have some really great built-in demographic reports, so you can automatically see if your, you know, buyers that are coming, if you have a concentration in one area, you'll see that it kind of gives you a little viewpoint over your scans and your customer base that's coming through your showroom. And as I mentioned, reports can be accessed at any time. This is something that this tool is available for you to use whenever you need it. We also added into the Leads Hub a little bit of reminders. So if you're using like QuickLeads Web, for example, it's going to kind of mention, make sure you're utilizing QuickLeads Web for scanning and kind of make sure you're looking at the right spot. You'll also see if you're using rep assignment, you'll notice little notifications pop up if you need to take any action for notifying a rep or updating a territory. Those things will be all managed through here. We did also add an ability for you to be able to easily switch back to look at previous events. So if you wanted to look at the performance at spring market versus fall, you can easily change back and forth from those two events. And you also can manage your own team as well. So if you wanted to add new users, if you needed to add somebody else for administrative access, you are able to do that as well. So we've added a little bit more to add some enhancements for you. So uh, let's move on. We're going to touch on our system updates. We took some time to kind of review some needs for the system from the spring market. And so one of those things that we did was really optimize our database systems and our server systems. We really looked at the way we had broken out our servers and our database structure and made sure that we were optimizing the efficiency so that we don't have any challenges or heaviness or busyness on those servers during those peak periods, especially over the weekend of market. Once it opens and you've got those high scanning days, we made sure that we're enhancing our server capacity to, I think it ended up being something like 400% better um, uh, capacity for us to um, take the highest of the peaks and make sure that you're not feeling it within the system. We also made sure that in that same note, our QuickLeads app performance was really streamlining the syncing between those app and our servers and making sure that you're not noticing any sluggishness with scanning and just make sure that it's the most efficient that it can be. So we've really taken the time to go through all that information and feedback that we gathered from Spring Market, especially to look at the way that the system can work at its best capacity. We also added a QA team. This I think we added just in the early summer. And our QA team was added to really look at all of our systems from end to end. So going into each of the apps and going into our different tools and really kind of look at where are there ways that we can improve both your experience, but also the performance of the system. So it's really been an excellent way to really dive into not just testing, but really looking for ways to make the system better for you. So our QA team has been just phenomenal at finding ways that you guys will notice a much better expanded flow and efficiency and speed of our tools. So we really are excited for that. We're happy to bring a little bit more functionality and performance for you this upcoming market. So um, we will go ahead. I believe I've kind of covered everything. We're going to jump into some Q&A. Saw questions were popping through as we're discussing. So let's go ahead and dive in. I know there'll be lots of questions. So sorry. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I think we've been answering some questions here. Let's see. Okay. Um, I think we're just getting ready to answer. Sorry. Oh, the rental device batteries last all day. That is a great question. And yes, we have actually those rental devices that we do offer are actually the same rental devices. You'll notice that they're doing scanning at all the entrances as well. So they've had the capacity to scan even larger numbers of scanning than you would have in your showroom, and they have had really good battery performance. So we have seen them have a really great battery life. The one thing that we have also added to our rental devices is monitoring them remotely. We're using a tool where we can actually take a look at the health of the device remotely and kind of see if, by some chance, if you've had a really excessive scanning day and your battery is getting a little slow, we are able to kind of look in and we can send someone from our team to bring over a battery to swap out. But overall, we've had really great performance because they are built, these tools are what you would see in large warehouses scanning for 12 hours or so or longer a day, nonstop scanning. So they are built to last. So um, let's see if we have any more. I think Mark has been busy answering a lot of these questions. Feel free. There's no questions that uh, no questions that if you're thinking it, I should say someone else is thinking it. So please feel free to jump in. Um, um, we also one thing our team also did, I should mention, because we were having questions about the about our QA and our testing team, but we actually did some really aggressive load testing of our systems too, to kind of look and see like if we, if somebody were to scan and sync, 30,000, 40,000 records and bringing it all down to make sure even at that really like high volume, that the system was able to handle that with ease. And that's something that was really exciting to see. We also added more of like a background syncing tool. So that way, if you were to be, let's say, offline for a bit and then you're back online, you're not going to notice a hiccup. If the device is syncing, you're still going to be able to continue and scan because it's going to be running it in the background for you. So that is really good. Let's see, when can we send the test notifications to the reps? Peggy, thank you for that question. That as soon as your territories are built out and your reps are in, you can send a test notification right away. As soon as you add your reps, their first name, last name, and their email into the system, it's going to prompt a message to them to let them know by email that you've been added by ABC company, and go ahead and download that app and get it activated, and they'll be able to go in and get that prepped. And on your end, when you see them change from being pending to that they're active and they've downloaded the app and activated it, you can go ahead and send a test notification. So that will be ready right away. Let's see. Let's see. There's a question, will the apps be available to test before market opens? Yes, all of our apps are up and ready on all the stores, I believe. We have an update that will come through for one of our apps, but it is still live. It's just as soon as that update gets added, it will just push for you to do an update. But yeah, testing can start right away. Building out reps can start right away. We've added some updated guides into the system to kind of work you through if you're doing rep assignment or if you're utilizing QuickLeads Web. We've added some really great guides, and we'll continue to add some more guidance around testing for that. But they are all ready to go. Um, Someone asked a little bit about multiple clients. So that comes into the same load testing question, whether we'll be able to handle like um, multiple exhibiting companies and multiple reps kind of going through. And those are part of that load testing feature that we performed. We really took the time to look at the scenarios because, again, as I mentioned, rep assignment specifically is something that's very unique for high point market or furniture markets in general. So it's something where we can really look at what the needs are for your showrooms and work towards making sure that this is working the best way. So one of that was looking at the volume of notifications. So we made sure that we were, number one, sending them out quickly, but also balancing that load because obviously you're not the only one scanning. There's multiple companies scanning at the same time. So making sure that our server and our database is sending and receiving that information in a timely fashion. So that's part of that optimization that we did to make sure that each area of where we're using our systems are balanced in a way that you're not going to feel any like hiccup within the system so that it's sending and receiving information through each of the tools without creating any heaviness of the load. So the load testing was a big part of that. Um, so Somebody asked about about if you have a team of four and you don't have a big budget, what's the best recommendation? If you have a team that's on the smaller side, I would. I would go ahead and think of using a shared device. So it could be something like the Quick Leads rental, where you have a rental device that you can all kind of, whomever is greeting the customer can use that to scan someone. Or it could be the Quick Leads app, where you might, if someone has like an iPad or like a, Samsung tablet or something that other than your personal cell phone, but something that you can use as a sort of shared device for the team. That's where I would kind of look at that. Like if you have your own device, think about the Quick Leads app. If you don't have your own device, then I would say the Quick Leads rental is where you want to kind of look through. Um, let's see. And someone asking, about capturing the visitor's info. It's their first market. So, one thing I would definitely say is that you should um, think about how lead retrieval can really give you um, a lot more ability to manage your data after the event. as well as during the event. You're capturing the data from that person's badge, but it makes it a lot easier for your team to share after the event, to be able to look at, who's going to tackle this section, of our leads, maybe distributing the leads to your sales team. Lead Retrieval really gives you that ability to not just have a pocket full of business cards that you have to try to kind of remember, who was going to follow up that, or who was going to handle this customer, or you lose a business card and then you don't have their contact information. So that's where using lead retrieval, even if you're new to an event, it's something that you kind of have to think of. Um, Gives you the opportunity to really uh, manage the data that's coming through your showroom or your exhibit space. You're able to capture that customer in front of you and then use things like qualifiers to add a little tag like, okay, this is someone we have to do a demo for right away, or we're going to send out a list of our samples or something like that. So it's it's definitely can be a simple tool, but it really does give you a lot more ability to manage, especially the follow-up afterwards. So I would definitely recommend thinking about even just using the scanning tools. Rep assignment, if you're really new, may be a lot to tackle in the first time, especially if you're unsure. Our team was happy to walk you through it as well if you wanted to have a bigger discussion. Our contact information's on the page right now, which you can feel free to reach out to us if you wanted to sit down and talk about your options a little bit better. Um, so, well, let's see, we've got one more question. Um, can we manually add? So if they don't, the question that was posed, can we manually add a person who may not have a badge to scan with the QuickLeads rental? So the rental needs to have, same as our app, it needs to have that QR code in front. If you're gonna need to have their data in order to, or that QR code in order for you to scan. You do have the ability in QuickLeads Web, the web version, there is the ability to manually add based on the person's badge ID. So like if for some reason the QR code wasn't coming up, you could add that badge ID, but not in the rental or the app, just so you know. Um, we we don't have that feature for that one. So um, all right. Are there any other questions? I know we've got a little bit more time. I appreciate everybody jumping in with all these great questions. And as I said, we are our team is here to help. So if you kind of after you're thinking about the different options that we have, if you are stuck on which one's the best for you, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to sit down with you and kind of discuss a little further. Um, there's one more question. Where do you pick up the rental, or is it delivered to the showroom? There's an option. You can add delivery, especially if you maybe you know, maybe have a busier setup time, you can add delivery to it. The our office is going to be located in the High Point Theater area, so you might be familiar with where the corner of IHFC, I think it's by A2 or A3, if you're looking at those bus stop signs. But the High Point Theater is where we are. And as soon as you come in the entrance, we're going to be right on the right-hand side. So it really just depends if you have the time. We start, I believe, on Tuesday, Tuesday afternoon for pickups. So just so you know. But we'll release that as well. We will reach out for those of you that do choose the rental option. We will reach out to schedule a time for you to pick up. Or if you have delivery, we'll reach out to make sure what time is best for your delivery. I will let you guys know the discount deadline, the early bird or early rate deadline does end on October 3rd. So you will want to kind of take a note of that. The prices do increase on October 4th. So you've got a little bit of time to make your review of your options, take a look at what we have and what's best for your team, and reach out with your questions. And we're happy to help, but that just to let you know. And then if you do need any help getting into the Leads Hub to place your order, or if you're unsure, please let us know because we can quickly get you set. Let's see. There was one additional question here that just popped up. If your company, if they used lead retrieval during the spring market and had the rep assignment, do they need to resubmit? And the answer is no, you don't have to resubmit. If you had rep assignment in the spring market and you purchase it for the fall market, or you're utilizing it for the fall market, you will actually be able to just see your rep assignment territories and reps move over to the uh, fall event as soon as your purchase is done and active. And then you can go in and review. You may want to just double check. I would recommend going in and just taking a look and making sure that if you have any new reps, that you get them added, and also to make sure that your reps have actively downloaded the app and that they're not marked as pending, that kind of thing. So we do have a guide as well for rep assignment to walk you through those details too. So that is available. Um, any other questions? Would the sales reps need to download the app again? It depends if they've removed it from their phone. So you know how you can uninstall an app. So if they downloaded it, they may have to like make sure it's installed on their phone. I know some people, once they're done, unless you're like me and I keep the Disney World app on my phone all the time just in case I go to Disney World. You know, but yes, they would just need to make sure it's there. It is the same app, and likely if they used it in the spring, if they haven't used it, there's going to be an update for them. So as soon as they open the app, it will prompt them to do an update of that app. So. And then a quick question was, where do you find your activation code? So your activation codes when you place your order will be emailed to you, but you can also actually find them in the Leads Hub. There's a menu item where it lists your activations and you can see them there. You can actually even see if you have multiple activations, you can see which ones are actually used and activated and which ones are still pending. And if once they're named on that device, you can see which is named. So if you can see somebody marks something front desk or person's name, you can see what that device is actually named. So that can all be found in the Leads Hub, but also they would be sent by email. So we'll give it another minute or two if there's any other questions. We really do appreciate your time today. As I mentioned, you've got some time before the discount deadline ends or changes, sorry, on October 3rd. So you've got a little bit of time to get that early pricing in, and then it will switch over to the standard pricing. So a little bit more time. If you do, as I said, if you do have questions, please don't hesitate. We do have a chat feature on our website, and we also, can be reached by phone or email, whatever is best for you. Don't hesitate to let us know and if you have questions along the way. Well, I think, yeah, I don't see any more questions coming in. So thank you everyone for your time today. I really do appreciate you taking a moment out of your busy schedules to meet with us and listen to our Lead Retrieval 101. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time and let us know if you have questions.